All right. Welcome to episode 91. This episode of 2OC, we talk about the future of gaming, what are Disney fans raging about, and can Anton tell apart these two dead shots? I'm Alan Flores.
And I'm Anton Duan.
Anton, how was your week?
Not bad, not bad. Got to see a performing arts show. Have you ever heard of Shenyun? The one that's like everywhere, like it's advertised everywhere.
Yeah. It's like the dancing, right?
Yeah, it's like a Chinese traditional dancing. Yeah,
Mhm.
I got to see that on Saturday. It's interesting. I mean, it's very nice dancing. There's a lot of story. Very
Mhm.
traditional Chinese stories. And I know that every single year they choose like different types of things that they want to incorporate into their show. So there's always like different stories all the time. Some of the most recent stuff that they added is more of the modern stuff,
Mhm.
and it's very political stuff that you can probably get arrested in China for, and they'll probably like do really bad things to you.
Like that Chinese actress that disappeared and all of a sudden reappeared.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like there's this really big movement in China right now where there's like a certain type of Tai Chi, like practicing like a certain workout, but
Mhm.
it got so popular that the Republic of China didn't really want them to be too overpowering, because when they have such a big community like that,
Yeah.
they can have like an uproar and they could like, go against the Republic or something, So
So they can't have fads.
yeah, it's weird. And for people who are practicing this type of Tai Chi, they get beat up by regular people. They're like, you're not supposed to do that here. And then they get beat up. And then, they would get arrested, they would get detained, and some people would get like tortured in jail.
So that mob mentality kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And it's crazy because not a lot of news outsources really tell anybody about it because they don't want to get involved. Because if they get involved, they're not allowed to report anything else in China. That's why
Mm.
CNN never really talked about it. I think the only people that would probably do something like this would be Vice. But even Vice is, they do a lot of reporting in China. So this is a very touchy subject.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So people actually who got detained for a couple of times, they get their organs taken out.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's
So
a
like
whole
the like organ harvesting kind of thing?
yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
still
that's what
bad,
yeah,
but
very bad.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
Um,
they were kind of incorporating that into the show, and people who really knew what was going on with this whole problem,
mhm.
you get it. But then there are a couple of topics in the show that I was like, are people ready for this right now? Because I mean, not a lot of people know about this, but I guess that
Okay.
they're trying to make it aware, but I think it's a little too much.
Okay. So if you're not aware of the topics,
Hmm.
is it very obvious or very easy to interpret from the performance, or do you kind of have to have some background to fully understand what they're talking about, or what they're trying to symbolize?
Okay, so I thought that for people who don't know what it is, they
Hmm.
can probably really confuse it as a type of religion. I don't think
Okay.
it's a religion. I think it's more of a practice of Tai Chi and trying to empower your body to feel healthier.
Hmm.
Because that's what the whole thing was about. Like people start doing it and they start feeling good about themselves. So that's why like it spread word of mouth.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those billboards everywhere. I
Hmm.
think they were in LA for, I think no, February.
Yeah, I think they're coming to California very soon.
Again,
'Cause,
they're coming back to. There's some they're coming to Costa Mesa, I think,
yeah,
in,
Storm.
in April.
Yeah, also
Yeah,
Long Beach
Sigerstrom.
too. Long Beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of Sigerstrom,
Hmm.
I went to go see Aladdin last week.
Okay, I want to hear what you thought about it.
Dude, so freaking funny, dude.
Yeah.
I loved it. Uh, Who's your Aladdin? Or who's your genie? Sorry.
It was Major Attaway, so it's the same
Okay.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same guy. I wanted to make sure because apparently there's three genies.
Mm-hmm.
Attaway is the main one, but they do rotate the guy that plays the Sultan. He's the stand-in also for Genie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a third one that's like the backup to the backup.
Mm-hmm.
No, dude, he was freaking hilarious. For a big dude, he's pretty nimble. I
Yeah.
mean, he wasn't doing the full like full dance, but he was still moving around, doing like lunges, doing like kicks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
I don't know how close you were sitting. When I went to see him in Broadway, I was sitting like probably 2 rows to the stage. So
Oh no,
I mean, people can literally. Oh, I mean, we see spit flying everywhere. I mean, that's a normal thing.
yeah,
When you're on stage. But yeah, I mean, you could see him sweating.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Even because I had the higher seats because apparently like, the first front half of the like orchestra section or the
Mm-hmm.
bottom part of it,
Mm-hmm.
it's like all for like the private members of Sigerstrom,
Oh, okay.
like the people like ticket season holders or the ones that like donate a lot of money to the art center.
Mm-hmm.
So it's reserved for them.
Tell you
Uh,
what, sometimes the whole subscription program, it's
mhm.
actually really not that bad. I mean, for
No, I
yeah,
did see a breakdown of it. I think it's like $60 per performance, whatever,
yeah,
for
because
if you buy the full package for the year.
yeah, over here, I think it was like $400 for the cheapest one, and you
Mhm.
get like 7 shows or something like that throughout the year.
That's probably about the same here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm excited though because next year they're having Lion King come in September.
Oh,
So
yeah, I
September
saw
20.
that one too. I had really high expectations for that, and I didn't really end up liking it as much as all the other shows I've seen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, the guy playing Aladdin, it sucks. I left my program in the car, so I forgot his name because he was a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the program. They had inserts of him for the bill.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a really good Aladdin. I need to look up who he was. The girl playing Jasmine, great singing, but her acting, and I'm happy that my girlfriend's not pointing this out because I think it would have been bad if I pointed it out. A little bit on the whiny side, and I said it that way on purpose. A little bit like the whiny.
Okay, so the one that I saw, she was the sister of the original Aladdin. Um,
Oh, huh.
yeah, the one that I saw in Broadway, and she was actually really good. I mean, her singing was up to par. I mean, not as good as the original Jasmine, of course, but
Yeah.
we already know that original Jasmine is sung by Leah Salonga. She
Hmm.
also did a couple of other amazing songs. Yeah, but anyways,
Okay, so I just found it. Lisa de Guzman. Lisa
Mhm.
with two S's. And the
Lisa.
yeah, Lisa de Guzman.
Yeah.
And the guy playing Aladdin was Clinton Greenspan.
Hmm.
So I'm sad there was no Abu,
Hmm.
but the three friends were funny, and that's
Yeah,
something
they
that
were really funny. Yeah.
yeah, they were great. They were a little bit different to get used to.
Hmm.
Uh, Iago, that was another one that threw me off,
Hmm.
and so I put my pencil right at the camera. Um, but he grew on me. It's like
Hmm.
a little bit of sassiness, a little bit like oh okay cool, like it's just pretty funny, and it wasn't just
Hmm.
an annoying character.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Um,
At the very beginning, I was like, I don't know. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm cool.
yeah, because at the very beginning, his first couple lines was literally him repeating whatever Jafar says,
Hmm.
and I was kind of like, oh god, is he just gonna be like a character? He's just in there because he was in the movie, and they're
Hmm.
just trying to get. But I think they were just trying to show he's the parrot,
Hmm.
and he's gonna repeat every now and then. But luckily, like midway or a third of the way into the movie, he starts doing
Yeah.
his own stuff. Um, something okay, something very funny about Disney songs. They have something about them that you can identify it's a Disney song. So much so that like whenever they did the songs that were written specifically for the Broadway show,
Hmm.
they don't sound they don't have the right, I don't know, feeling to them. They don't feel Disney-ish. Especially that song that the three friends sang on their way to the palace, which
Yeah, it's different.
it's different. It's totally just them trying to do filler
Yeah.
for whatever they're trying to do for the
That's
last
usually
act.
the case. I mean, they got original content, but they don't have the original people doing the in between scenes, so they have to fill it in somehow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And besides that,
Well, it's different for Frozen actually. They have the original writers of the song, the sister and the brother.
yeah.
Yeah, they actually wrote some of the other in between songs for the Broadway version of it. Yeah.
Okay. So they're just
Hey,
part of it.
tell you something about Lisa de Guzman. I remember hearing her name. She is actually the filler for, well, they call these people like heroes of the show because they end up being the one replacing somebody if they're sick.
Hmm.
And she was the one that knew like 3 or 4 parts in the Broadway
Oh,
show.
so she's the
The
what's it
stand-in.
called? The stand-in, but for different roles.
Yeah, so I think that's what really landed her the touring part of this Aladdin production.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're moving across the country and you're bringing people along, you have to pay for each person that comes. If somebody can do multiple roles, it's so you're gonna pick them over somebody that's only trained to do one role or two
Yeah,
roles.
that's true. Hmm.
You want to get your money's worth.
Hmm.
But yes, no, she didn't grow on me. I will say Aladdin and Jasmine both had great abs, and I love that. I love that Genie pointed that out when he's singing "Welcome to Agrabah."
Hmm.
It says, "Yeah, welcome to Agrabah, where apparently everybody has 0% body fat."
That's funny. Yeah.
No, but going back to the songs though,
Hmm.
or the friends, story wise, I did find it a little bit disturbing that three guys were able to storm the palace, like 90% successful.
Yeah, that's usually the case when it comes to like Broadway productions. Is
They're just trying to speed the story along.
yeah, yeah,
I was like, nobody seriously like sees a security issue in Agrabah's palace that three random guys can just storm a palace and take out at least 30 guards.
yeah. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. I got some questions for you.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so first things first, how do you feel between this version that you've just seen comparing to what you saw at the Hyperion Theater at California Adventure?
See
Because they're
that one,
both very good productions.
they are, and and that one's 10 years ago. The more
Hmm.
the more recent one that I saw was Frozen, and I was telling my girlfriend that like this is my first time seeing a Broadway play.
Hmm.
And my only reference was the Aladdin and Frozen play at California Adventure at the
Hmm.
Hyperion.
Yeah.
Surprise! Besides the dancing, it was surprise. The Hyperion does a surprisingly good job, both production wise and acting and
Yeah.
singing.
Yeah. It's a very highly produced version of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
very,
mean,
very close.
yeah, like Frozen that has a lot of special effects that they
Hmm.
include on stage, a lot of projection. Uh, the Aladdin did the same thing too with
Hmm.
the Cave of Treasures.
Hmm.
I was like, you know what? I give them more props. Like I thought, like, oh, this is a Disney production. Like it's like a little like quick little play for people who are visiting the park. But seeing it in Broadway, I'm like, you know what? No, they did a really good job with the budget that they have and something
Hmm.
that they need to repeat over and over again. I give them props on that one.
Yeah. I mean, not to bash on the current production, it's good, but I do like the California Adventure version of it. I mean, I think it's more family oriented to the
Yes.
point where um, you can watch it a bunch of times and you don't get sick of it. It's good
Yeah.
every single time you watch it.
No, yeah. And my brother, he saw it at least 2 or 3 times when Aladdin was still a California Adventure, and he told me
Hmm.
that Genie ad-libbed a lot, even
Yeah.
at that point.
Hmm.
So I think that's
It.
what kind of
I think that's something that I felt that was different every single time. I mean, the Broadway version of it probably had different jokes too, because I remember there was a section in the show where he was ad-libbing for probably like 2-3 minutes, just
hmm
trying to buy time for the people in the back to do something. I don't know if they did the same thing for you guys.
If he did, I really couldn't notice it.
Yeah, it felt like it was already part of the show.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
there was a point in the Cave of Treasure where he mentions tap dancing
Hmm.
and nothing happened. So he mentioned it like a couple times, and then the tap dancers came out,
Hmm.
and that's the only thing. Like I couldn't tell if that was part of the song or if he was ad-libbing to buy time for the dancers to get in line and stuff like that. But either way,
Yeah,
it
I think that
worked.
was the part. Yeah, that was. I think that was probably the part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my second and last question for this one is: now that you've seen African American Genie,
Oh God.
how do you feel?
I I don't think it matters that he's black.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean,
I
people
don't
make
know.
such a big deal out of it online when they're seeing that Will Smith is playing Genie.
Okay. Mm, sorry, and I'm like I have a cough drop in my mouth right now. I just bit it by accident.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay,
do
so
we do
first
we
things
have
first.
do we do
We
we
we,
have
we can't compare to Robin Williams. There's only one
no
type of genie that really tops anything, and I don't think Will Smith's trying to do that.
no right and we don't have a lot in our schedule for movies, so I'll just mention it now.
Hmm.
There's a lot of hatred going around the casting of Aladdin.
Hmm.
Um, because a lot of the cast members are not Middle Eastern. They're Indian descent or they're mixed. You
Hmm.
know, uh, most notably Naomi Scott, who is half Indian, half British.
Hmm.
So she's not nowhere near Middle Eastern, and there's a lot of hatred going around that. Yes, you mentioned like people will say like, oh, Will Smith playing Genie. I don't know if the hatred towards Genie is because he's black or towards Will Smith is because he's black, or is it just because he's not Robin Williams.
I don't really know what to say to it. Like I said, there's only one great genie that everybody loves, and you
Yes,
can't really
no,
change that. You can't really
yeah,
top that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'll tell you this though, and we'll just wrap it up. Weekend update with this is Major Attaway did a great job as Genie, and you know what, if he was in the movie, I think he'd be fine.
Yeah, and this is actually his first role ever in Broadway. Yeah, he
Really?
nailed it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
No, he owns it.
Hmm. I mean, there was a previous genie before him, but then him replacing that original genie. Yeah, it's gold, dude. This guy's good.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and for those that are curious about the Broadway play, I think it's probably going to be over by the time this episode comes out.
Hmm.
Go on YouTube, look up Major Attaway, Never Had a Friend Like Me, and YouTube has 3D video, so you can grab your phone, watch the video, and actually like roam around the stage as he performs the song with the Aladdin at the time.
Hmm.
Mhm. Cool. All
Cool.
right, Anton. Moving on to news.
Yeah, let's get into news.
All right, news time. Uh, and this isn't on the schedule, but I literally just got a text notification right now. Tyson Foods recalls 69,000 pounds of frozen chicken strips due to possible metal contamination.
So that's what was in the chicken nuggets.
Delicious, delicious aluminum.
Yeah, it's weird. I remember eating chicken nuggets at school one time at the cafeteria,
Yeah.
and there was a piece of metal in it, like a little tiny piece.
Foil or like harder piece?
No, a harder piece, like imagine like a screw that got chopped up into little pieces.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah, I could have
That's not
chipped my
good.
tooth.
Yeah, you could have sued.
Yeah, could have sued. I was a kid. I didn't know. It was like
Yeah.
probably like second, third grade. I
They're
still
like,
remember
ooh,
because it was
ooh,
crazy.
a prize. All right, that's done.
Yeah.
Onto our scheduled news. James Gunn, back after, I believe, eight months. No, not
Yeah.
8 months. 8 months, right?
Yeah, 8 months. So
Uh,
what did you hear about it? I mean, I heard a more deeper story behind it, but what do you know about it?
so I heard, well, at least the rumor is this is what Disney had planned or
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
and that James Gunn handled it the right way, in which he apologized for what happened, explained why that was what it was. He explained why he deleted the tweet a long time ago, and then he just shut his mouth and just kind of kept silent for months. That stayed out of the spotlight, didn't stir the pot, didn't do any more damage than he did, just let everything calm down. Um, I'm assuming that he was following Disney's direction because Disney took swift action, and even everybody was very surprised that Disney just kind of didn't fight for him. They just says, nope, oh, he's gone, fired. Nope, that's it. So my assumption is Disney sat him down and said, you know what? We have to fire you. We have to at least let you distance you from the project for a little bit. Once things die down, we'll bring you back. Uh, Months happen. Nothing happened. He signed on to the Suicide Squad remake. Then Disney announced they're going to be using his script for Guardians 3. No backlash. Everybody was happy with the news that, at least part of James Gunn was still going to be in the mix. A month later, we get this news saying James Gunn is back behind the wheel of Guardians 3.
Yeah. So for me, I think that was probably the best way to handle that whole situation. If it was Disney and their executive decision to do it that way, like you said, props to them. I mean, I don't think anyone or anything have made this whole process better.
Yeah, no, and
Yeah.
and he's probably handled it best than any celebrity that has gone through something similar like this.
Mm-hmm.
He apologized. He went forward,
Yeah, he's very
apologized.
professional about it. I
Yep.
mean, there's a lot of people out there who had similar things that happen and they just bash. They just go right ahead. Unlike,
They lash out.
someone that we know, like, that became president, that would just say some really ridiculous things.
Doubles down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he handled it really well.
Yeah. No, he like I said, he went forward, apologized for what he did. He stayed away from media outlets. He didn't really
Mhm.
keep addressing the issue. I don't think he ever did an interview, right? It was all written statements, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
He
just
stayed out
away.
of the limelight for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I bet you that's why he signed on to Suicide Squad, because he never heard back from Disney, or
Mhm.
Disney was not giving him for sure dates about what's going on.
I'm
So he says,
happy
what?
that he wasn't so exclusive to, Disney.
Well, that, and I'm also kind of wondering how, because it's Warner Brothers, right? Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if Warner Brothers knew what was going on behind the scenes with his other project with Guardians, or if they assumed James Gunn was going to be kind of radioactive and didn't bother to make him sign an exclusive deal with them.
Okay, so here's what I know is that James Gunn was supposed to shoot Guardians back in October.
Okay.
So, I mean, they already have the script. They just needed to shoot. I mean,
Right.
if they were
Yeah,
if
production was ready to roll as soon as the scheduling started, right?
yeah. Suicide Squad reboot script I don't think is done yet. So, I think, with Guardians being shot, I think that will be the time that James is going to write his script for
No,
Suicide
you're
Squad.
right.
Yeah.
They're not even done with the casting yet.
Yeah.
We'll go on to the next story, and we'll skip. We'll go a little out of order from our list.
Hmm.
Idris Elba just got casted to replace Will Smith as Deadshot
Yeah.
and the new Suicide Squad. Supposedly Margot Robbie is still going to be in it, which I don't think she's going to stay. If she is, I'll be surprised, because that's going to be a little bit weird.
Yeah. I think she likes that role. I think some of the characters will stay the same. It's just that they're trying to make it more future proof.
Do you think it was like Warner Bros. Like, okay, you give us James Gunn, and we'll give you Will Smith for Aladdin. Little tradesies. A little bit of borrowing.
Yeah, kind of makes sense.
Yeah. No,
It's a coincidence that's like that.
I just saw the connection right now. I didn't even think about it until now.
But
no, you're right.
I'm okay with Idris, dude. I'm okay with Idris. I love him. He's such a great actor.
Dude, okay, and we never talked about. Well, I don't know if we talked about it, but the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw, he just looks so freaking badass.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
But he's enjoying it though, and then for people who don't know, Hobbs and Shaw comes out this summer, I believe in August. I should know this because I'm working on a summer movie draft list, and I should have that thing memorized by now. Yeah, no, dude, it looks badass. A little bit like Fast and the Furious meets Universal Soldier.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because you get to see like crazy weapons, weaponized weapons, suits and everything.
He's like super powered or something.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So Idris Elba still continuing his reign of canceling apocalypses. So.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm super excited about his version of 007.
I thought he walked away from that.
No, I think he's still gonna do it. It's just that Daniel Craig got one more before the end of his contract.
So I think it's a PR move. They're trying not to draw attention from Daniel Craig until after the movie comes out.
Yeah, I think it's confirmed because they kind of made fun of it in SNL and a lot of the other interviews. I think there was something.
I need to watch that episode. Yeah, I like Idris Elba.
He's good.
SNL.
He's good.
He's really good. He's really good performer. I saw his monologue. Dude, freaking hilarious! Talking about him being a bouncer, drug dealing bouncer. He's a great storyteller, dude. And it's funny, like the monologue skits for SNL. Those are they look so simple, but you have to be a really good storyteller to make those work.
Dude, I love the most recent one that they did, the show opener, the one that they kind of
Kelly?
made fun of. Yeah, the R. Kelly. That was hilarious, dude. I couldn't stop laughing.
I'm trapped in the closet, rubbing on your booty. Age ain't nothing but a number, and so many other clues.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be a classic one.
Yeah, no, that I was seeing some of the reviews for that clip on YouTube. Well, that skit, and I saw it on YouTube.
I can't believe he kept a straight face throughout the whole entire sketch.
Is that the camera? No, that's a plant. Where's the camera? Right behind me. You keep your cameras out in the open? Man, you guys are freaks. No, I saw some of the reviews for that, and it's funny because like a lot of people loved it, not just because of how well it was done, which is great, great job by the cast, but because it wasn't political. They've been SNL's been kind of I don't want to say lazy because they do great work, but they've been kind of playing it safe and knowing that if they do a political skit, as long as they go against Trump, people are gonna love it.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have something different. It was really funny.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. Moving on to our next topic here. There is a tease for another movie we might get. What is it? Or is it confirmed?
Oh, dude, it's Bill and Ted 3.
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, I'm really excited about this. There was an interview with Keanu probably about a year ago or two, where he talked about the whole premise of the story. And I don't know if this is going to be the final one that he talked about, but either way, it sounds like a really fun experience. And I'm really happy that, they got a chance to write a script and being able to make this movie, because they've gone a really long way. They talked about this for years now, having a third one being the final in the trilogy. And even Keanu wanted this to happen, but they just never really found the right script until now.
Yeah,
So
and I think the time for the movie wasn't right. I don't think it would have worked in another generation. I
hmm
think now is a good time to kind of bring it back because now
hmm
you have the people that grew up with the original movies
hmm
at the age where they can appreciate it, have a little nostalgia, and a generation that didn't really grow up or know about these movies kind of get
hmm
introduced into them. So I think
yeah.
it's a good time for the movie.
Yeah, they don't know the Red, the surfer
Air
dude,
guitar.
yeah, air guitar, Keanu Reeves. They all know him from like, action movies like John Wick, The Matrix,
I think even the Matrix would be too old for for part of the generation too,
Yeah,
though.
which is it boggles
I
my
know.
mind.
It's
It's such a
late
great
90s.
action movies. Yeah, 99. Yeah,
Yeah,
99
so no,
2000s.
yeah, no.
Mhm.
Nah,
All right.
it's a little bit old out there.
All
Uh,
right.
Also, Google announced something, Anton. What's this groundbreaking thing that this small company Google did?
Okay, so this is crazy. It's gonna change everything, dude. Okay,
I've been
so
hearing that.
Stadia is a new video game platform from Google, and for the last decade, when you want to play a video game, you would have to buy some sort of dedicated box that has the hardware to power the games that you play,
Almost
right?
like a station for playing games or some sort of
Yeah.
box.
So what happens if you're poor, uh, and the only thing that you own is a phone, slow ass computer, and you can't really buy an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch or even a overly powered computer,
Even $1,000 computer.
Yeah. So with Stadia, it kind of solves all that because you don't have to spend that much on hardware, and the devices that you currently already own, it will give you access to Stadia. So just to shorten what I'm gonna say about it, it's basically a video game streaming service,
Okay.
but it's on steroids, and I'll tell you why.
Uh, I'm a bit skeptical.
Okay.
Because they say there's no equipment required, so there's still equipment required.
Yeah, yeah.
You still need a certain amount of processing power, graphics. Uh, I agree. Maybe for mobile devices, this will work fine, especially with the rollout of 5G,
Okay.
because 5G is supposed to be, especially for this streaming, it's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to be seamless streaming, no lag time, nothing. So I think it'd be perfect for this. Console wise, or like out of the phone, I don't know how well it would work.
Okay. So Google partnered with ATI. Okay.
Hmm.
And for a very long time, we know what ATI is. They've been in the graphics industry for a very long time, making video chips. And they were always going head to head with Nvidia, but Nvidia so far is always ahead of them.
Right.
But recently, they went back to the drawing board and they created some of the newer chips that is cheaper
Hmm.
and pretty powerful, up to par with what Nvidia currently has.
Hmm.
So Google partnered with ATI to start installing new GPU into their data centers.
Okay.
So we already know how powerful these data centers are already. Because
Hmm.
if you were to mine Bitcoins, you can use these supercomputers, if you combine all of them together, to mine so many coins out there. But I mean, that's going to be for something else. But if you can imagine putting all of these GPUs on every single server that is in these data centers, it's going to overpower any type. It's going to be able to power any type of game that's out there.
I need to see it in practice. I need to,
Okay, so
because even the streaming portion, they still require a certain amount of download time, download speed.
so
Uh,
latency. So let's talk about latency.
okay.
So we already know that it's going to be able to power games for years because it has the twice the performance of what an Xbox One X can do or the PlayStation 4 Pro can do.
Mhm.
When you watch videos on YouTube, for example,
the ads load faster than the actual videos.
So let's say like when you load 4K videos on YouTube,
Okay.
it's pretty fast. I mean, you're able to buffer 4K video like instantly with a really good cable connection, at least. So recently, for the past year, Google rolled out this project called Project Stream. And to launch Project Stream, what they did was they partnered with Ubisoft and said, hey, can we use one of your games to do Project Stream? Because we want to see if we're able to bring a AAA title and be able to stream it live with low latency. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey has been on this Project Stream platform for the past year. And the reviews are crazy. I mean, they're all positive reviews. And some of the people said, how is this even possible? It feels like I have an Xbox, but it's not running on an Xbox. It's streaming. How is this possible? So those are the reviews that are currently coming out right now from people that have already tried this Project Stream. So I was watching the keynote. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but when you get a chance, you should check it out. I was really surprised. So the first person that came out was the CEO of Google. He introduced what the whole Stadia is about. But the person that came in after him is the lead project of this whole entire subscription service. Project Steam is now Stadia. He used to work for PlayStation. I was really surprised to see that he was on stage. His name is Phil Harrison. So if you don't know who Phil Harrison is, he used to be the president of Sony Computer Entertainment of, I think, Europe and America. He was the one that unveiled PlayStation 3. He's the one that did the tech demos and started talking about teraflops, and he was the one that was the big game changer. So he left Sony a couple of years ago, and he started working on a secret project. And I guess this was a secret project. So it's pretty crazy that, they're bringing Phil Harrison onto the project because, for the longest time, this is what he wanted. He worked on the PlayStation View, which is a PlayStation streaming service that never really took off because not a lot of people had fast internet being able to stream video games from their PlayStation. I mean, it worked for people that had like PSPs and everything, but you had to have a PSP in order to stream your games from your PlayStation. So anyways, after he was done talking about some of the stuff, he invited a person onto the stage to talk about first party games. They're gonna have a in-house development team making video games for this platform. So the person that came up, who is the project head, is Jade Raymond. Do you know who Jade Raymond is?
No, I don't.
Okay, so she used to be a host on Tech TV G4 Electric Playground.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Way back.
So this is way back. So she used to be one of the presenters on there. She used to do a lot of interviews. But then later on, she got to do what she always wanted to do because she had a background in video game development. So she worked with Ubisoft to make Assassin's Creed. She was the head of that game. And she also did Assassin's Creed 2. She also did Watch Dogs. And then later on, she left there and joined Electronic Arts, EA, and she formed a studio called Motif, and they were doing games like Star Wars, like the really, really cool looking ones that they showed trailers. They did an E3 event, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, EA was like, we don't have any money, so they cut the project. So those games never really got made. It was kind of like you remember Star Wars Force Unleashed?
Yeah.
It was that type of nitty gritty, like dark themed type of Star Wars game. And people were like, "Whoa, this is so cool!" But that never really got released because of that. But anyways, after she left EA, she told people that she was working on a secret project, top secret project. So it turns out it was Stadia.
It was this.
Yeah. So
how long was it in development for?
Stadia?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stadia has been around for probably about 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a long time secret in the tech world.
Yeah, very, very long time. So I'm really happy to see that because Jade Raymond pretty much changed a whole next gen back then. Same thing with Phil Harrison too. I mean, he helped shape what PlayStation is today, and to see these two really big powerhouse developers, I think it's a good start to change this whole industry, because once you have something that gives everybody free access,
yeah,
people who don't have video game machines, they're able to play it, and I think that's going to bring more people into the video game world and start playing more games. So let me ask you a couple of these highlights here.
Okay.
They said that you can use your own controllers already if you already have it. So you can use your own Xbox controllers, keyboard, or whatever it is on the devices that they will announce. They also said that they have a controller of their own. It kind of looks like an Xbox controller with the PlayStation controller combined together.
So bulky with like elongated handles.
It's in a shape of it's in a shape of a PlayStation controller, but with Xbox configuration
layout or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think about that? Being able to use their own controllers and
I mean, it's definitely gonna save money because, and also I know a lot of people have the controllers they want,
which is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm used to the controllers I like. Like I usually just use standard, but I know there are some like hardcore gamers that like they buy custom controllers. Both.
Yeah, they buy like Logitech, mouses or those really pretty colorful keyboards.
Which takes me to my second point, though. Would some people have an advantage using? I guess that'd be still for Xbox, because people use their keyboard and mouse for Xbox also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean, so far so good.
So another thing is, it takes 5 seconds to load your game. So let's say you have this is a cool thing. This will work on your phone. This will work on your slow ass computer. All it's doing is just loading video and just sending and receiving data on your computer. It'll work on your TV if you have Google Chrome, or if your TV is a smart TV. It'll also work on your tablet.
So that's where the other concern I have is, even though they're doing the processing power, how is this going to affect people's data? Because I know there's some IPs that are still throttling if you go past a certain amount of gigs. So are you streaming the entire game every single time, or is it the same amount of usage that you do now for PlayStation gaming or Xbox gaming online? And the same thing with mobile. You're going to need unlimited data.
So look at it this way.
Going to fall under the video.
Yeah, look at it this way. I mean, you stream video all the time on your phone. I mean, when you're at home, you're watching YouTube videos, you're streaming TV shows, Netflix.
But at least in mobile, there's a lot of cell phone providers that don't count the data being used for YouTube or any other streaming, like Netflix or whatever. They don't count that towards your data.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing about telephone companies, especially wireless. I mean,
they screw you.
They screw you over. But I
Yeah.
mean that really ends up with what they want to do. I know for sure that T-Mobile will do anything they can to say, "Hey, we can do that." You know,
Hmm.
I know that it's going to be a very big competition for a lot of these uh, telecom companies to be able to do and be able to cater to all of those people. But realistically, people will want to play at home. I mean, they're not going to be playing at work. Um, I mean, I've seen people play, you know,
I'm a video just
PUBG.
popped. Yeah.
I see people play PUBG in the middle of like the mall, and I see people playing it in Japan while they're in line for something.
Hmm.
So I don't see it being that much of a difference because I mean it's transferring quite a bit of data, probably like at least like 500 kilobytes per second.
Yeah, but you're transmitting the data of just your portion,
Hmm.
the dynamic part of the game. You're still keeping the map, the environment, everything's still the same for you though.
Yeah.
So it's not transmitting that. So that's what I'm asking is if you're playing this streaming, is it like it's are you essentially downloading the entire game over the course of the time you're playing it?
No, you're just streaming live.
I don't know. I need to see it in person. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Um, again, my video's doing that weird thing again.
Yeah.
Um, do we have a release date for this yet?
They're saying it's going to be released this year,
Hmm.
but they said that they're gonna unveil more information during the summer.
Okay.
So, I mean, this platform is big enough to do like 1,000 player battle royale.
Yeah, that's been Google. Google's
Yeah,
very good with the whole uh multi let's say uh group work groups, but in this case gaming groups.
yeah. But
Yeah.
okay, so they teamed up with Unreal. They already said yes, they're going to be putting games into this platform. Ubisoft, of course, and also
Hmm.
id, which is they do Doom and a couple of other games like Rage. Um, so they promised 4K gaming with 60 frames per second, and they also say that they're already available to scale up to 8K when the industry is ready.
Yeah. My only problem with this is you are you're stuck playing online. If you have no internet, you have no gaming.
That's true,
That's the
but
only that's the main negative downside to this.
okay,
Unless they
so
give you the option to download if you really
yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah. So this is something very interesting that kind of changes the whole way that you play video games. For example, let's say you're a streamer, you're
Hmm.
playing Street Fighter, just to make an easy example. And let's say that you're fighting against somebody, and then all of a sudden someone wants to challenge you. They can click
Okay.
the "Hey, I want to challenge you" button,
That
and you can
coin or whatever.
stream. You can stream and play live, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of like that moment when you go to the arcade back in the days and you put the quarter there,
Yeah.
trying to save your spot so then you can play against him. Kind of like
Hmm.
that.
Again, I need season practice. They can
Yeah.
promise the moon, but I want to see it.
Hmm.
I want to see it in practice. That's why I should probably clarify that.
Hmm.
All right, Anton. Is that it for Stadia?
Yeah. I mean, I can go on, but yeah, I'm good.
All right. We're running a bit long. Do you want to push the streaming segment until next episode?
No, I think we can talk about it vaguely.
All right, on streaming then.
Okay. Streaming.
All right, Anton. What is Love, Death, and Robots?
Okay, so Love, Death, and Robots is a new show on Netflix, and there's a little bit of a controversy right now because they have. Okay, so you know how like usually when you watch shows they have episodes 1 through whatever.
Yeah,
This one,
sequential order.
yeah, this one's very interesting because every single episode is different. It's a different story,
Okay.
and it's all animation, and it's a different style in each one. So sometimes it's a 3D animation, sometimes it's anime style. So it's a combination of everything. But what they did in this one is they switch the playlist around. They
Okay.
kind of randomized it in 4 different sequences. Some people get it a certain episode first. Like if I was watching an episode in order, you might be watching a different order on your
Okay.
Netflix account. And they based it off of an algorithm of what you've watched already, and it kind of figures out what your order would be. So anyways, this is a really good series, dude. I mean, this is very different. There's a lot of really funny ones. There's a lot of really dark, nitty gritty ones. It's very, very artistic.
So is this the one that you compared it to Animatrix?
Yeah, it's very similar to Animatrix, where it's a bunch of different artists from different companies. They would make all of these short movies, and they kind of combine it into one series of collection of amazing things. I think I would say kind of like the Twilight Zone, how they have different stories in every single episode, but Animatrix style, yeah. But anyways, keeping it short, I highly recommend checking it out. This is way up there in stuff to see.
Yeah, no, and you interested me because it kind of reminds me of the way people watch Star Wars. You can watch the movies, like you can watch the sequential order that they can release, or you can watch them in the chronological order that takes place in the story, whatever. It's the same. Each movie's its own story, but they're in the same storyline.
Yeah. And I guess they're testing it out, but some people are taking it the wrong way because they're like, oh, they're showing me the LGBT episode first because they think I'm gay, stuff like that.
So they're like, yeah, you are. No, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Nathan. Real quick, the one I saw, and I felt I fell out of this series a while ago, and I'm trying to get back into it. Archer. The season 9 is on Hulu, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to catch it up. Like I was watching during my lunch today, and one thing I gotta give props to Archer, they do such a great job with the series, reimagining it. It seems like every season after season 5 or 6, I can't remember, they put a new theme to the series. Same characters. Sometimes they carry the storyline over to the next season. But the last 3 seasons, they've kind of rebooted the series in a different genre. Last season, they did kind of a, early 1900s Private Eye. The season before that, they did like a Hollywood detective show. This season, they did like a tropical treasure hunt, kind of Indiana Jones style theme. And people haven't seen it, but I guess it doesn't really matter because this is an old season now. Season 10 is coming out soon. They tease season 10, which takes place in space. Very, I don't know what to say. Halo-ish, I guess. No, not Halo. Alien, because they have stasis pods and all that.
That's a real interesting direction.
Yeah, no, yeah. They keep switching it up, and I give props to the writers, the showrunners, because it's a good way to keep a show fresh and not repetitive, while still keeping the funny characters that we love, along with the voice actors that we love.
Yeah, I think they probably sit in the writers' room and go, "How do we make this more interesting?" Space.
Well, it's a good way too. Like if you created something, you kind of have like, maybe it would have been better this way. It's a good way to play around with something you created, while still maintaining its integrity.
I heard they're gonna have a Archer movie too, right?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I think I read something about that somewhere, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah.
No, that'd be awesome if they do though. All right, Tom. Ready for movies?
Yeah, let's get into movies.
All right, movies, and I have so many tabs open because I'm working on the movie draft list. Okay, so as of Wednesday, March 20th.
Hmm.
Number one, Captain Marvel with 282.2 million.
Hmm.
Number two, 5 Feet Apart with 16.7 million. Number three, Wonder Park with 19.5 million. Number four, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World with 138.4 million. And number five, for some goddamn reason, Tyler Perry's A Medina Family Funeral with 60.8 million.
Yeah.
Uh, I was choking there. Okay.
Yeah. I don't blame you. It's what is it? It's allergy season.
No, I don't know what happened, but I had a dry cough during my lunch,
Hmm.
and
It's
it
the
just
pollen
it's
that's squeezing your muscles.
no what. No, it had like a dry cough, and now it's like it just got scratchy. Since there's no phlegm, it just got scratchy. So now it's like just tickling my throat.
Oh,
It sounds
yeah.
terrible.
Hmm.
Uh, I gotta be honest. I don't know what 5 Feet Apart or Wonder Park is.
Wonder Park is that animation movie about that girl who built like some type of imaginary park with her mom. Then she passed away, and then she was really sad. She's depressed, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's in the park that she built with her mom, and all of these characters that they used to play together, and now they're real. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm assuming these are just fillers until next weekend,
Hmm.
well, this coming weekend, where we get the movie Us, and then after that, there's Dumbo. So I think they're just trying to squeeze those movies in before the
Got
big ones come out.
5 on it. No.
All right. I lost my
Hey, there's a
agenda here.
remix of that song on the soundtrack, and it sounds really good.
So moving on to songs that we do know and love.
Yeah.
Uh, You Got a Friend in Me. Uh, to Toy Story, we got a trailer for that one. Toy Story
Hmm.
4, to be exact. What did you think, Anton?
I think it's trying to go in a different direction
Hmm.
for keeping the story alive, and I think this one kind of keeps it fresh. I mean, it's a story that we kind of can relate to, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, we already know these characters. We know that eventually they understand that it's part of life,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just have to move on. And you can see the Spork character. He's kind of
Forky?
like, yeah, Sporky. He's kind
No,
of like
Forky.
Sporky.
Forky. It's not a
Forky.
spork. He's a spork, but his name
Yeah.
is Forky.
Yeah, so he kind of reminds you of when Buzz first came into the whole group.
A little bit of jealousy
Yeah,
or confusion.
confusion.
No, I like the trailer that they reveal a little bit more about where this takes place. It's an antique store.
Hmm.
And the more you think about it, the more it makes sense because essentially Andy was our age when the
Hmm.
movie came out.
Yeah.
He may be a little bit older. And funny thing, I went to that German shopping center by Belterra, Old World, with my
Hmm.
girlfriend. We're walking around. There's this antique toy store there. And we
Oh.
decided, oh,
Uh-huh.
you know what? I'm going to check it out. And yeah, there's some old toys from the 50s, 60s.
Hmm.
Uh, and then there's a lot of stuff that I grew up with.
Ninja
And I was like,
Turtles.
yes. They had like the old Donatello with like the flexible arms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They had some Power Rangers, the original ones,
Hmm.
Micro Machines. I don't know if you ever had one of those.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I'm like, this makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. Let me get back to the Power Ranger one. Was it the one where you see them without the mask, and then you press a button and it flips their head?
There was two. That was the Pink Ranger and the Black Ranger,
Yeah.
and then they had the Green Ranger one still in his box. I don't think that one flipped his helmet.
Oh, okay. That was really cool, dude.
Yeah, that was game changer back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so no, it makes sense to me that this would be taking place in an antique store,
Hmm.
uh, because kind of like what the third movie implied, that old toys get destroyed. This one kind of shows, not all toys go away. Some of these are kept around.
Hmm.
Um, and it makes sense because even though, say Andy's toys were already good for antique stores, some of those toys were given to him from his mom. His mom used to own some of those toys, so they're older than Andy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. Like Bo Peep, good chance she came from his mom's collection.
Hmm.
And if you see in the movie or in the trailer, she looks porcelain, which I never really noticed.
Yeah. That's a good detail that you caught there.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. There's a little bit more. I like it. There's a little bit of hatred going towards Pixar there. I don't know if you caught that on Twitter. People are saying Disney/Pixar forgot what Andy looks like. Did you see the camera? There's a couple side by sides that they show Andy in the trailer and Andy in the original movie. Goddamn, Andy used to look scary compared to how he looks like now. Somebody even posted a picture of the old school Andy saying, "Goodbye, crackhead Andy."
No, it's just that back in the day, if
The-
you rewatch the first movie again, you'll notice that Andy's friends
yeah,
are all different models of himself. They're all Andy's.
Andy's friends. Oh, at school or like the ones he plays with.
When he had a birthday party.
So they're just like different variations of him with like different hair, different.
Yeah, I think they try not to focus on him too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what happened because even the bad guy, Sid,
yeah.
he
It just
was
looks badder,
a
Andy.
yeah, he was a better Andy.
Um, yeah, and I get that because back then animation was expensive,
Oh yeah, it's
and
very
and
expensive.
Toy Story was one of the first movies of its kind where it was fully 3D rendered in that
Yeah,
way, done successfully
dude, I
for a
can't
major.
even imagine how long it freaking took to render the whole entire movie.
This is the original Toy Story is one of Steve Jobs' baby, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that when he owned Pixar?
yeah, he owned Pixar.
Yeah, so it shows you how much computer power went into that.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for Toy Story though.
Hmm.
I feel a bit better about the story than I did originally.
Hmm.
All right, Anton. Next up is Avengers trailer. We talked about that last episode,
Hmm.
but there's a little bit more stuff coming out. The Russo brothers did an interview, and they admitted that they kind of gave some misleading information, false information,
Hmm.
um, during the original Infinity War trailer. And that is because they didn't want the video department who cuts the trailers together to give away too much. So instead of giving them guidelines, you can't show this, can't show this,
Hmm.
they just said, here's these clips. Show what you want. And if you look in the original Infinity War trailer, in the Wakanda battle, as Captain America, Black Panther, all of them, Black Widow, are all charging into battle, you see the Hulk.
Yeah, but you don't see the Hulk in the actual movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually the Hulkbuster suit in the original movie.
Hmm.
So that made people question. Well, the Russo brothers were talking about Infinity War as they're talking about Endgame, and it's in the Endgame they also did the same thing. They're not giving away too much to the video department. So people are kind of going piece by piece about the trailer we got, and they're suspicious about Tony Stark's part in that scene where they're walking through that terminal or whatever in their suits. They're thinking it's somebody else in that suit, and they just put Robert Downey Jr.'s head on them.
Well, Nebula is in that same scene too.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So
People would think that she made it through with Tony, but that is a very
Who was it with?
interesting to say that it's not Tony. That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, even if it's not that scene, I'd be kind of curious to see
Oh,
what they did change.
yeah, we didn't see Captain Marvel in that scene.
Nope.
Yeah.
So they do it on purpose, not to purposely mislead, but they don't want to give away a lot of plot reveals.
Yeah.
So, if, for example, in Infinity War, if they showed the Hulk there, if they didn't show the Hulk there, they showed the Hulkbuster suit, people would be wondering, if Mark Ruffalo's in the movie, why isn't the Hulk in that big battle? And
Yeah.
then that would kind of lead to people speculating, there's something wrong with the Hulk, or does he die?
It kind of makes sense that you said that because, I mean, the scene where I was talking about in the previous episode is Captain Marvel holding that lunchbox in the
Oh yeah,
movie.
yeah,
But then
exactly, yeah,
in the trailer, she's not holding
yeah,
a lunchbox. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's a great example of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to change.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. We got another trailer, and what do you, I'll let you introduce that one.
Okay. So we got another trailer, and this one is a more in-depth trailer to Stranger Things 3.
Yeah.
And they're telling us that it's going to be released on July 4th. Dude, it looks freaking amazing. I'm so psyched for this right now. They showed so much in this trailer that I'm kind of like, okay,
Well,
I'm really hyped for it.
yeah.
I really hope that none of this stuff is really spoiling anything that I'm going to watch. But I think, it's okay because all of the episodes are going to be released on one day, so you can just watch everything. So that's
Well,
fine.
we do get a monster reveal,
Yeah, that
but
monster is pretty cool.
I'm thinking that's not the big boss. I think
No.
that is going to be a little mini,
Minion?
uh, yeah, minion, or the catalyst for what's about to start. Like maybe that's like the early on in the season,
Yeah, because I mean,
and
we already
that's how
saw
they
how
know
big
someone.
the monster is in the previous season at the end there.
Yeah, that weird like
Hmm.
smoke monsterish from the island
Hmm.
from the show Lost
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious to see what we're gonna get there.
Yeah, we're
Um,
getting a lot of nostalgia in
yeah.
like the late '80s and early '90s vibe.
Yes, the hairstyles. People pointed out that people are going picking this thing scene by scene. Early on in the trailer, where Duncan sprays one of his friends in the face,
Yeah.
it's Aquanet.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a lot of mall hanging out
Yep.
scenes. There's that scene kind of reminds you of like the movie The Sandlot. How the kids are hanging out with each other. Um, yeah, there's a lot of like young movies from the '90s that I kind of noticed, like the references. So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool to see they're bringing that type of vibe back to it too. But yeah, I'm so excited for it.
Yep.
The
Digging it.
trailer's awesome.
All right, Anton. This last one, I'll admit, I know nothing about, but I've heard a lot of buzz about it. Please
Yeah.
walk me through it.
Okay, so this is going to be the ninth film from Quentin Tarantino. I really thought that, the previous movie was going to be his last movie, but I don't think he's ever going to stop. I think
No.
he's a good filmmaker, and I think he should keep making movies. All right, so this is a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is based on stuff that actually happened in Hollywood back in, I think, the 70s,
Hmm.
70s, 80s. Dude, it is really cool that they're bringing a lot of these characters that are based on real people. And just by watching the trailer, you could see how good of a writer Quentin is. I don't think he can ever stop writing gold material like this. I mean, you already seen
I
Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good
Inglourious
at doing
Basterds.
speeches.
Yeah. Inglourious Basterds is still one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies.
Hmm.
I think he's doing it right though. I don't think he's committing to movies ahead of time. He
Hmm.
kind of picks and chooses, takes his time. If he has an idea, he'll work through with it. I think that's why he kind of says this is probably my last movie.
Hmm.
It's my last one. But if he has an idea, he has a lot of support now in Hollywood to get that project up and running.
Yeah. Even the previous movie, not a lot of people loved it, but I loved it. It was The Crazy Eight. Love that one. Had Samuel Jackson back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not a lot of people didn't really have much love for it, but if you really watch it, it's an amazing piece of work. It's the writing that really made the movie great. Um, Yeah, this is very, very jam packed with a lot of amazing actors. You got Brad Pitt, you got Leonardo DiCaprio, you got Margot Robbie, and in the trailer they had an Asian guy playing Bruce Lee, and he was like spot on
Really?
with the whole Bruce Lee accent and the way that he acts.
Yeah.
So crazy. Kind of brings you back to the moment when you're like, whoa, Bruce Lee is so original. I don't think anyone can be Bruce Lee, you know?
Very funny. They haven't seen and the dragon enters.
Yeah.
We get it. You made Into the Dragon. We get it.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I'm kind of curious. Quentin Tarantino is one of those things that he makes out of the box movies
Mhm.
that are very welcoming if you're not used to his movies too.
Mhm.
You don't have to like Quentin Tarantino movies to jump into one and like it.
Mhm.
So, do we have a release date for that one?
Uh,
Actually, I might have that one. Actually, I
it's
just
May,
realized that.
right? I think it's May.
July 26th.
July. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I just realized as I said that I saw my tab open for the movie list. I'm like, oh, I have
Yeah.
that information. All right, Anton. Is that it?
I think that's it, dude. That's a lot
All
that we
right.
covered today.
Yeah, it is. All right. If people want to, I don't know, give us a chance to make a project. I don't know. How can I do? How can they support us?
They can support us by going to our website at www.the2oc.com. They can purchase a sticker, t-shirt, or if there was something that we talked on the show or probably seen on Twitter, there's a link to take them to our Amazon, our favorite Amazon website, and it gives us a little kickback when they purchase something. And also, today's podcast is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/the2OC. There's over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you could use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or an MP3 player if you still have one of those. Yeah.
Cool. Good job, Anton.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, right now on Twitter, I've been posting some Infinity War Funko Pops. This is gonna be Chris Evans' last Marvel MCU movie, allegedly. So I posted a Funko Pop from Infinity War. Chris Evans in full beard glory from Infinity War. I think it was 45% off. So
Ooh, go grab that now.
yes. Oh my God. No, and my favorite one is Thor with the axe in Thanos' chest. He should have aimed for the head.
That's a really cool one. I mean, it's two-piece. You're basically getting two Funkos.
Yes, that's an awesome one. It's a great scene. They reenacted it in Funko Pop form.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. If people want to follow us on social media, they can follow us at the2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or they can send us an email to mail@the2oc.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting app and also on the YouTube. Look the 2OC on the YouTube.
We're live right now, hey.
Yeah, we record live every Thursday unless something awesome comes out on Thursday, in which case we reschedule. Yeah. But 90% of the time, Thursdays.
Yeah, 90% of the time.
All right. Oh, actually, we might be streaming the movie draft. So subscribe to us on YouTube and you might be able to see it if we can figure out the audio and video setup. Mm-hmm. So no promises, but maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Is that Anton?
Yep. That's it.
All right. For the 2OC, I'm Mount Flores.
And I'm Anton Doan.
I'm about to go pick up my printer at Target.
See you.